With Superman finally in theaters, the DCU is in full swing, and while Superman is great, we all love him, the one question on everyone's mind is, where is Batman? And if you look on anybody's fan cast list, there's one name that is always there: Brandon Sklenar. And for those of you that want him as the DCU Dark Knight, you might be in luck. In a recent Instagram post, Brandon's trainer posted a picture of himself and Brandon looks jacked. He looks like Batman with that physique. But the thing that has everybody talking is the post underneath the picture. Brandon's trainer said that he is training for his biggest role yet. And yes, of course, that could be anything. It doesn't mean that that's gonna be Batman, but there is a little bit of evidence here that leads us in that direction. If you look at the comment section of that same post, people are posting Batman ? Batman, Batman, Batman. And Brandon's trainer kept liking the post that said Batman. Now, one of two things can happen with this, right? One, maybe he's, liking that idea, so the idea gets pushed out, and maybe James Gunn and DC Studios sees it and considers him for the role. The other way is that, hey, y'all are onto something, y'all are on the right track with saying that he is Batman. And if you look at the updates on the Batman Brave and the Bold, the movie that's gonna be set in the DCU, if we look at these updates, there was one very recently from James Gunn himself. He said that that script is being written. It's moving along, it's not done yet, but it is on its way. So kind of reading between the lines of, the picture that was posted and just the recent events and the updates of the Brave and the Bold, things do kind of line up. And if Brandon actually is cast as Batman, I totally understand. Now, me personally, I have not seen him in any movies or any shows. I know he's been in a lot of things, but the thing that keeps getting me on board for this is just seeing how many other people endorse this guy being Batman. And then I see the pictures and the fan art and all that stuff, and I really am starting to see him being Batman. And another actor that I thought would absolutely crush the role as Bruce Wayne, as Batman, is Alan Richardson. I made a video all about that. I'll leave it linked in the description below so you can check that out. Now, going back to Brandon as Batman, if he actually was cast already, that's such a great thing for a lot of reasons. The first big reason is because of his age. At the time of this video, he's 35 years old. If you look over at Superman and David Cornsweet, he's like 30, 31. So they're very close in age, where 20 years down the road, they could still be playing these characters to a degree. And plus, since this is going to be a movie based on the Brave and the Bold with his son, Damian Wayne, the idea that Brandon has as a son that could be, an adolescent kind of going into his teenage years is possible. It makes sense at that age. So that works. His age works. And the second big reason, and one of my favorite reasons, is that he's still relatively unknown. A lot of people do know him, and he's been in a lot of things, but he's still not like this huge household name, right? So when he steps into this role, I can visually see him and really interpret him as Bruce Wayne, as Batman, and not anybody else. The biggest reason that this is such a big thing for me is because when I went to go see Black Adam and I saw The Rock as Black Adam, I didn't see Black Adam. All I saw was The Rock playing dress up, and it was so distracting to me. Once again, I think that movie has its ups and downs, but at the end of the day, I was very distracted by seeing The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, playing superhero. And then of course, he just kind of looks like Bruce Wayne. If you picture him with a business suit on, being the playboy billionaire, you could definitely see that. And then based off of this new picture, he's athletic, he looks jacked, he could be the dude that plays Batman. And because of his age and his athletic ability, maybe he can do all of his own stunts, which just makes it that much cooler. And the last thing is that other people endorse him. Other people want to see Brandon as Batman. Once again, I've never seen anything that he's done, but if I keep seeing that name pop up over and over again, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, it doesn't really matter. Everyone is pointing this guy out. That makes me believe that there is something there. Now, one really big issue that could keep this recent post from actually relating back to Batman is everything that James Gunn has said as far as the DCU and how they go about making these projects and how the casting is done, things like that. So if you don't know, James Gunn said that the idea of every project that they do in the DCU is script first. Script has to be completely done, and then they move on to casting, and then they get the ball rolling from there. Well, like I said before, we got the update of The Brave and the Bold, and he said that the script isn't done. It's moving along, but it's not done. So if that remains true, and of course there are exceptions to the rule, if this remains true, then it's not him. He hasn't gotten the role yet. So one idea I had is that maybe they just really like him. Maybe he's been on their radar this entire time and they want nobody else, they want him as Batman. So they locked him into a contract well before they were ready to roll. That is still a possibility. It goes against everything that James Gunn has said, But I mean, if they like the actor and they believe that that's the dude to play Batman, I don't see any reason to not cast him. Another big idea is if you look back at Superman, and this is minor spoilers if you haven't seen the movie yet, I'm going to the very, very, very end of the movie. Spoilers, 3, 2, 1. We see Supergirl. We see Millie Alcock as Supergirl. So she was cast long before she started filming her movie, which comes out next summer. But she was cast long before that, which I thought was kind of odd, kind of weird, because they kept her cameo in Superman a secret up until the release. What if the same thing is happening here, right? What if they already cast Brandon as Batman and he's gonna show up in next fall's Clayface? Like, what if they already cast Brandon as Batman to show up in next year's Clayface, right? Well, I mean, the movie's gonna already be a body horror movie set in the DCU, but I could definitely see a world where it focuses so much on these characters and building up this monster that the audience forgets that it's a DCU movie. We forget that this is a Batman villain. So what if Batman shows up? Not in a big role, just as a little cameo, but imagine him showing up. The shock, first of all, the shock factor would be insane. It would make sense because of the world, and it just fleshes out the world of these heroes and villains. It just makes a lot of sense. So if that is in the idea, if that is in the actual script, if this is the way they're gonna introduce us to the live action DCU Batman, this makes a lot of sense if he was already cast. Either way, we're gonna get a reveal of the DCU Batman eventually, whether it's Brandon, whether it's Alan Ritchson, whether it's in the Clayface movie, whether it's in the Brave and the Bold. One day we're gonna get our answers, because it's not Pattinson. It's not Robert Pattinson, we know that for a fact, unless it actually is him. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to keep up with all things DCU. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.